right now on The Bottom Line.
And here we go. Friday, June 24, 2022. Ermanni and Edwards, Bottom Line, Woodward Sports Network. Ermanni and Braylon Edwards. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
I'm sorry I look a mess, man. I'm running from the golf course. Once again, it's another hot day out there, but I am excited for today. I will let you start it. I think everything that we want to happen, everything we said could happen, happened. Ryan, you lead us off.
This is going to be a Pistons day, ladies and gentlemen. And if you are watching Woodward Sports for the first time, welcome in. Subscribe to Woodward Sports on YouTube.
Yes.
Hit the like button. We are extremely excited because days like yesterday, in my opinion, Braylon, they changed the course of a franchise. They changed the trajectory of a franchise, and you go from an also-ran, you go from a 23-win team, you go through a rebuild, and you finally get to a point.
Empty arena.
Completely, nearly. You go and get to a point where you finally feel like you have reached a point now where you start ascending. Last year was a pivotal point when this team won the lottery and you get Cade Cunningham. And Saddiq Bey a year earlier, who looks like he is going to be a part of this team and one of those players that is going to help compete for championships when the Pistons get there, Braylon. But not just, Saddiq and Cade. Last night you needed a little bit of luck, too. How many people, Braylon, when the Detroit Pistons slid down in the draft lottery, me included, freaked out a little bit.
Yeah.
This was a bottom three team in the NBA who had a really, really good chance at the number one overall pick, who certainly had a really good shot at a top three pick, only to fall back to 5. At that point, you're sitting there saying, man, to be good, it does take some luck. And then ultimately, you're there at 5, and you still get the guy you want. I'm not sure that there's a better player in this draft, Braylon Edwards, and I mean this with all sincerity. No disrespect to Paolo Banchero, Chet Holmgren, or Jabari Smith.
Yeah.
I fully believe that Jaden Ivey, when it's all said and done, will be the best player in this draft. Detroit got him at 5. Last night was a win for the city of Detroit and the Pistons organization.
Yeah, you definitely got to have that luck. I mean, and just looking how it's happened in the last year for the Detroit draft class, talking about different sports, look at what happened with the Detroit Lions last year. When the Detroit Lions didn't get the number 1 overall pick, everybody was shuffling around and scrambling, didn't know what was going on. And, yeah, you knew this guy was there. We thought Ayton Hutchinson was going to Jacksonville. You didn't know what Trayvon Walker was going to be. So people were like, damn, why can't we get the number 1 pick? Why do we have the number 2 pick? Well, we got Ayton Hutchinson in that pick. Last year with the Red Wings draft, oh, my God, everybody was freaking out that the Red Wings got fleeced again. Another Detroit professional sports team getting fleeced. Now they got to draft 6. Damn, why can't we draft 1? Why can't we draft 2? Why didn't we get 3? Why didn't we get 4? We got 6. Well, we got the Rookie of the Year last year, Morris Sider. Now enter this year. Oh, God, we got dropped down to 5. What are we going to do? You got to be one of those 3 teams. You got to be Orlando. You got to be OKC. You got to be right there in that top 2, top 3 to get Banchero, to get Jabari Smith. We didn't want either one of those guys. We wanted Jaden Ivey, and you started talking about last January, or this past January. Jaden Ivey, in my opinion, is the most athletic player in this draft. I think he and Chet Holmgren have the most upside, but Jaden Ivey is the guy that played complement very well to what I believe Cade Cunningham has brought to this team. He and Cade are going to be a problem, and then the rest of the draft, can't wait to talk about that. Jaden Ivey is the guy that wanted to be here. Jaden Ivey's father played with the Detroit Lions. Jaden Ivey's grandfather, played with the Detroit Lions. His mother played with the Shock. He's Detroit rooted. He talked about wanting to be here in Detroit. We got a little nervous thinking about the Sacramento Kings. It happens like it was supposed to, and I'm damn excited. Man, I'm floating on cloud nine right now.
I think I lost my mind a little bit last night, or at least the hair on the back of my neck and everywhere else I have hair stood up, which is a lot. I'm Italian and Lebanese, ladies and gentlemen. I got hair coming out of my,
ears.
We'll leave it there.
Ears. There you go.
When the Sacramento Kings, when Adam Silver said with the 4th pick in the 2022 NBA draft, the Sacramento Kings select when he said Keegan Murray, I was like, oh my God, this is happening. We are going to get our guy. And that is very rare, too, where, you know, you're not the number 1, number 2, number 3 pick, and you still get your guy. And that's what happened. But Braylon, it's kind of like, and it's different for you. See, you looked at it, you got excited when they said, and with the 4th pick, and once you heard, you went nuts. You went nuts like Brad Holmes and those guys went nuts with New Orleans. It's like the Crystal Ivey. You had the same type of excitement. I was on the other end. Have you ever? I'm gonna propose this to you guys in the booth. Sam, Fletch. Have you guys ever been playing blackjack? And you're counting your cards. You got 13, and you're looking for that hit because you want to get 21. You want to win. You're so nervous that when you hit the 8, you think it's a 9. Damn it! Oh wait, that's an 8. That's 21. That's how I was last night. When he said Keegan Murray, I thought he said Jaden Ivey because I was expecting them to do something like that. I was expecting us to have that Detroit luck that we've had in the past. We might need to start changing that because Detroit seems to be getting on the good side of luck these days. And Braylon, I just want to point out to you, a couple of things. One, Troy Weaver.
Told you.
This is what competent leadership looks like.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not so much about Jaden Ivey getting your guy at 5. It's not panicking. You know, so many of us, Sacramento wants to trade the pick to 4. Oh, we better go up and get it. I'm one of those guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm right there. Oh, give Jeremy Grant the number 5 pick for the number 4 pick and make sure that you get Jaden Ivey. Part of being a competent leader is not panicking and letting things come to you. And what did we say yesterday, Braylon, when he traded away Jeremy Grant for the 2025 first-round pick of the Milwaukee Bucks through Portland? You were one of the first guys that said, and I gave you credit for this on Twitter last night, you said, this is not an isolated trade.
No.
There is something more. Do not judge this trade until you know what the other side looks like. And we now know what the other side looks like. Trades back up into the first round. A 3-team trade. You take on the contract of Kemba Walker, which you will buy out at some point when the league year starts on July 6th. And you draft potentially one of the best, if not the best, true big men in last night's draft, Jalen Durant. 6'11", rim protector, rebounder, shot blocker. It was incredible to see Troy Weaver work last night. And I'm here for it. You had mentioned the Lions and the Red Wings.
And now the Pistons.
And now 3 of the 4 have competent leadership. That's what it looks like.
That, right?
And I hear as a Detroit sports fan who it's been a rough go of it. We did the story last week. We did the topic last week about how long it's been since Detroit has seen a winner. And, man, it just feels a little bit different this morning or this afternoon.
You know what else, too, is one thing, and you and I talked about this in the group chat, is you can't tell me, and pardon me for the Bryson DeChambeau look. Look, I was out on the golf course earlier, so I got the Bryson DeChambeau on. I mean, he just made $250 million for losing, so, hey, it's not a bad look. No, but you can't tell me that Stevie Y is not on the phone with Troy Weaver, who's not on the phone with Brad Holmes. You can't tell me that those guys are like, look, let's turn this freaking city around. We got an opportunity. This is one of the pivotal cities in America that when it's right, when it's done right, when it's winning, when it's having success, it makes all of the sports world in North America really, really good. So I guarantee, just look at what Brad Holmes did. The key thing that you said is trust. You got to have trust in these guys because they've given you a reason to. They've given you a reason to. I think what they're doing is, like you said, they're having patience. They're not worrying about what the masses are saying. They're not worried about the masses freaking out. They're not worrying about, why did they trade the pick of Jeremy Grant? They didn't get anything for him. Why did they draft Penei Sewell and not this guy? They got 6. They don't know what they're doing. Stevie Y was brought here. He doesn't know what he's doing. These guys are doing it on their own time, on their own patience. They have a plan, and they are executing it very well. It's an exciting time to be in Detroit because what Troy Weaver did last night, he shows you that he cares. He shows you that he has a pulse on the NBA. He shows you he has a pulse on the guys that want to be in Detroit, that are going to work in Detroit, and that the city are going to wrap their arms around. Troy Weaver did a damn good job last night.
And I think last night, too, really put a spotlight on what he's doing here in Detroit. Let me put up the Woj tweet from ESPN last night. Tremendous coup for Detroit GM Troy Weaver to land two of his top targets in the draft, Jaden Ivey and Jalen Durant, with the cost of only a future first-round pick, which was Milwaukee's pick, which probably, look, we said yesterday, it's protected 1-4. It's probably going to be, 25, 26, 20, at that point, who knows what that's going to be. We're not guaranteed tomorrow, but nonetheless, that's all it cost. And I think Jonathan Giovanni on ESPN last night, he was on with Van Pelt, who won the draft. Well, it was clearly Detroit. And I just like that now Detroit seems to be that sexy hot team, because I would contend to you there isn't a young core of players in the entire NBA. Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Durant, Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart, Killian Hayes. I mean, all these guys are.
Livers is even playing. He's there.
Isaiah Livers. Do not sleep on Isaiah Livers.
Garza.
I'm not saying that because I'm a Michigan guy. Isaiah Livers. You need 3-point shooting. Wait till you see Isaiah Livers this year. Just quote me on that if you want. But Braylon, there's not a young core in the NBA like that people could be as high on, if not higher, than this group.
When's the last time you've heard of when's the last time you heard of a city winning draft after draft after draft? And to win a draft, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to draft in the beginning of it. You can win the draft by drafting at the end of it, depending on how good your front office is. You saw what Green Bay did this year. I think Green Bay had a very secret, low-key good draft. But they won the Pistons draft last year by not drafting Jalen Green, in my opinion. They won the the NFL draft this year. They won the NBA draft last night. And I think they finished second or third in winning the Red Wings draft, which is the NHL draft. Detroit, general manager and front office, seems like they finally have become competent to what the city needs and wants.
All right, so what are the questions now? Who's the veteran on this team? They got a bunch of young guys. Where do you go for veteran leadership? Is DeAndre Ayton still in play? Are we making too much of this? Are we going goo goo gaga too much too soon? Are the Pistons a playoff team next year? What are the questions that you want answered? Give us a call. 313-552-6322 if you want to get in. 313-552-6322. We're going to talk to our guy from the Woodward Pistons, Sean Murphy. You could follow him on Twitter at Sean Halfcourt. Lots to get to on a very exciting Friday afternoon in the city of Detroit. Ermanni and Edwards, Bottom Line, Woodward Sports Network. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. Guardian Alarm, they keep you safe, give you peace of mind, whether you're at home or on the road. They're 24/7 local monitoring. Make sure what is important to you is safe. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT for peace of mind. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Right now, let them know Woodward Sports sent you.
Get out.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Very exciting time to talk Detroit sports. And before we bring Sean Murphy in from Woodward Pistons, who is your twin?
Yeah, it's my twin.
We love him. Mine too, by the way.
There we go. Triplets. Yeah, man. Sean knows his stuff. I know my stuff. But basketball, I got to defer to that guy.
I'm back with you now. Hey, if you are new to Woodward Sports Network, we certainly appreciate you. Hopefully, you like what you see and what you hear today. Live shows all day. And, of course, you can watch us anytime you want on our YouTube channel, Woodward Sports. Go ahead and subscribe. Over 26,000 subscribers. We are 400, a little less than 400 subscribers shy.
Let's get that up,
of
man.
27,000.
Let's get it happen today.
We can do that. If you are watching on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that like button for us. It helps YouTube push our content out to more people, so we'd certainly appreciate it if you could hit that like button. Before I get to Sean Murphy, Braylon, are the Pistons the second most, because always the Lions will be number one, no matter what.
Yeah, 100%.
Are the Pistons the second most exciting team? Have the Pistons taken the second spot, only behind the Lions in terms of fandom here in the city of Detroit?
Yes.
I think so too.
100%, because the people don't trust in the Red Wings fully yet. They trust in Stevie Y. They're seeing some movement with Lucas Raymond, Moritz Seider. You're seeing some movement, but they still don't fully trust in the Red Wings. They don't know who the coach is going to be. The Tigers, do I even have to go there? But with the Pistons, you now have a comparable owner. You have a comparable GM. You have a front office that looks like they know what the hell they're doing. You have an arena that's only, it's 5 years old? You got an arena that's 5 years old. And by the way, the NBA is arguably the most exciting sport in the world. So when you look at it from that angle, yes, the Detroit Pistons, and what you saw last night, the Detroit Pistons are the number 2 sport or the number 2 team in the city. And to be honest, it's not close.
I agree with you. Yeah. Let's bring him in. He's our guy. We love him so much. Knowledgeable as all get out about the Detroit Pistons and the NBA. The great Sean Murphy.
What's going on, guys?
Sean, you got the Maz seat today.
Big Sean.
Man, this it doesn't feel right, man. I mean, Maz is my guy. I love him to death. I miss him. Wish he was here, but I'm glad to be in this spot. My twin, my guy Braylon, I love you. You're my guy.
My guy right there,
and Ryan, you're my guy too, man. So I just love being here with you guys. So it's awesome to be here, man.
Thank love it. I would be remiss, but Braylon, I'm sorry. I was so excited to start the show. I forgot to tell everybody. Maz is out today. It's his daughter Abby's graduation party. Maz, we love you. Abby, we love you, and we hope you have a great party tonight. We'll see you later. But Sean, just react quickly. Are the Pistons the second most popular team in the city now, only behind the Lions, based on all the excitement surrounding this franchise?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, just in the past couple days alone, I've been walking around downtown Birmingham and just around the city of Detroit, and quite a few people have been stopping us going, oh, the Pistons, they're back. They're doing some awesome stuff. So, listen, man, this is a team that has been longing for star players for such a long time. And ever since I've been a fan, since 2005, I watched this team, make countless mistakes in the draft. We were always the team that we make fun of Sacramento, like the King's gonna king. The Pistons were gonna piss him, man. Like, it was always gonna be, who are they gonna let go and who's gonna be drafted behind them. So the fact that we're in this position now, to where, like you guys said, we don't just have one of the best young cores in our conference. We have one of the best young cores in the entire association. This is a team that you can put up there with Memphis. This is a team that you can put up there with Dallas. This is a team that, like, this team is going to be ready to go, and in a few years can be contending for sure.
Yeah, Memphis and Dallas both in the playoffs, so we're not quite there yet. But in terms of having that young talent, that young nucleus, that's how they started. It started with excitement, and then they got to the playoffs. You're absolutely right. Yo, Sean, I'm just come at it, man, right now. What made last night a success? Explain to people why last night was a success for Troy Weaver and the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So first of all, like you were preaching yesterday, it's all about that patience. That trade with Jeremy Grant was incomplete. So you're wondering going into draft night what exactly is going to happen. And in addition, this is, let's be honest, the last time for a while that we're hoping to be this high in the lottery. We're in a position where going into this year, we want to shoot towards the play-in. We want to rise in the standings. So this was going to be the last chance in a while we truly had to add a star in the draft. And so for the Pistons to be able to go get a guy who can put the ball in the basket, a guy who can push the pace, push tempo, get in isolation, make the guys around him better, but in addition has the intangibles in athletically is unlike a lot of guys you've ever seen. When your name is being thrown around Russell Westbrook and John Morant on your athleticism, that's a great class to be in. So, and then in addition, for Troy Weaver, for him to have the ace under his sleeve, that Jalen Durant in his back pocket, all he had to give up was a first-round pick, and at 13 gets the other guy that he reportedly would have wanted, that he would have taken at 5 or considered to take at 5 if Ivey was off the board. So you're in a situation now where the Pistons, going into this draft, needed athleticism. They got insanely athletic last night. We needed length. We went and got a 6'11", 7-foot rim protector in Jalen Durant. And we needed guys who could put the ball in the basket. Both Durant and Ivey are going to come into the league and be able to do that for the Pistons. So it's just a home run draft. This is, if you were to draw up what's the best case scenario, you wouldn't have even thought of this. This would have been something that was like a crazy scenario.
Sean, I'm going to get to Durant in just one second, but I want to stick with Ivey.
Absolutely.
I think he is, and I always thought he was. Braylon, you could back me up on this.
100%.
Back in January, I was on this Jaden Ivey train.
Yeah.
There just looks to be something different about this guy.
I disagree with you. I disagreed with you then. That's how I can back you up. Is I was like, sometimes he disappears. I said, I don't know. I was disagreeing with you at the time, and then slowly but surely, you turn me until I wanted him as well.
I was surprised about the Banchero thing going number 1, but no matter which order they went, widely thought of that Banchero, Holmgren, and Smith were going to be 1, 2, and 3. I have always held the belief that I think Jaden Ivey is going to be the best player in this draft. I don't want to say by a mile, but I think Jaden Ivey is going to be the best player in this draft. Where are you on that? Who would you have taken those other 3 guys above Ivey, or where this team is right now? Would you have gone somewhere else if you could have taken anybody else in this draft?
Yeah, so I can't lie. If the Pistons are number 1 on the board, Jaden Ivey would not have been our guy. As much as I love him, as great of a player as he is, ultimately, if you're gonna draft number 1 on the board, you're gonna bring fit into the equation as well. And those guys, just with the pick and roll effect with Cade, that would have been the seamless fit with the ceiling to go alongside it. Now with Jaden Ivey and Cade, they can fit together seamlessly too, but it's going to take time. It's going to take work, especially when you're a backcourt that has to share the ball, that's going to be sharing point guard duties as far as running the offense, getting things going as far as scoring the basketball. Ivey and Cade both are going to have to learn to play without the ball a little bit, which for Cade is a great thing. But for Ivey, I mean, he's done it before at Purdue. People say that he can't play without the ball. That's obviously not true. He had to do it at Purdue, but it's going to be more so with the Pistons for sure. I think it's just about getting these guys together, getting them some reps, and getting them comfortable together.
Yeah, mine's just quick. All I was going to say is I think the reason why Banchero went over Smith is because they played against each other. And when they played against each other, Banchero bust
domination.
He bust Smith ass. He had 20 at halftime when he saw that. When you see it eye to eye, no matter what you do in a camp, no matter what you do in a working environment, drills and such, when you see it face to face and you see Banchero drop 20 in Vegas on Jabari Smith, it's tough to ignore that.
Well, you got to think, too, for a team that's getting the number 1 overall pick, how do you pass on the guy that has that clear ability to create for himself at 6'11"? You know what I mean? There's great prospects all throughout this lineup. But when you have the opportunity at 1 to get a guy like Paulo who's 6'11", can pass for other guys, and he's just a different type of prospect. You can't blame Orlando for drafting him.
Agreed.
All right, I want to ask you about Jalen Durant when we come back, and if that move affects any interest potentially in DeAndre Ayton. And is Ayton the guy that is the number 1 free agent target by the Detroit Pistons? Who will be a veteran on this team? Where do you go for leadership? It's got to be on the floor at somewhere. Dwayne Casey can only do so much. Do you need a guy in that room to help out with these younger players? We'll get to that with Sean next. But first, a message from Gypsy Vodka.
All right, you guys see the outfit today. I golfed a little early this morning. I needed a couple mulligans. But you know what I really needed around that noon? I needed the Gypsy Mulligan. Oh, my God. It was great. It was on time. It was perfect. Introducing the Mulligan by Gypsy. Summertime, it is here. Iced tea, lemonade, mango flavors. They are ready to go for your backyard purposes, out with the family, chilling on the golf course, having a good time. Make sure you have a Mulligan nearby, man. Nothing like having a Mulligan on a golf course. But now Gypsy allows you to have a Mulligan off the golf course as well. The Mulligan by Gypsy. Drink responsibly.
I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Bedrock and Rocket Mortgage turned an old parking lot into a massive outdoor playground right next to Campus Martius. There's roller skating, basketball courts, a mini golf course, food trucks, live music performances, as well as art installations. It's such a fun place to visit whether you're on a date with the family or hanging out before a Tigers game. And they've even got Wi-Fi so you can take your computer and work in the heart of the city. You only have to pay for roller skating and food, but everything else is free. For more information, midway hours, go to deckedoutdetroit.com. That is deckedoutdetroit.com.
Ermanni and Edwards, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Tom Mazaway has the day off today. It's his daughter's graduation.
Good for Maz.
And they have the big party today, so we told Maz, just stay out. Stay out, like Guardian Alarm. Stay out. Yeah, he's here. Our friends from Guardian Alarm are here. Stay out. That's one of our favorites. Yes, absolutely. So Maz is out, but nonetheless. Oh, yeah, baby. Come on in. Say hello.
Give me a microphone.
Yeah, they gave you a microphone. What's going on?
Everything's going on.
What do you think of the Pistons draft?
Fantastic.
Yeah?
Yeah. Unreal.
Got to introduce, Ryan. Got to introduce our guy.
This is our friends from Guardian Alarm. Stay out.
Stay out of here.
That's right. Stay out.
Except you stay in. You stay in.
Yeah. I'm gonna stay in while everybody else stays out. I'm Jason Tagg with Guardian Alarm. And, I just want to stop by and say hi to you guys. Appreciate all you're doing. And
we appreciate it.
A lot of energy behind the draft.
I know
I watched you this morning. You were super stoked.
Oh, we were rocking and rolling.
Man, awesome. It's exciting. We're getting the vibe back.
I love it. Jason, thanks, my man.
Yes, sir.
Jason, all right. Always good to see you. We got to get back on those phone lines.
Yeah, right. 313-552-6322. Going to get back to it now. I want to bring in Ethan real quick. Ethan, how are you, my friend?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for waiting through the break.
Yes, sir. I'm a huge fan of you guys. Appreciate it.
What do you think of the draft last night?
Man, it was so awesome. Like that just it's changing the whole city of Detroit. Like everything that's going on is so awesome. And my question was, now that you get a guy like Durant and you have Isaiah Stewart still, and you still got a Kelly Olynyk and a Marvin Bagley, you guys still think that our main focus on free agency should be a DeAndre Ayton, or should we throw the bag at a guy like Miles Bridges? Because everybody last night talking about, it's a wing league. You need wings to win. Now you got Ivey. And I just imagine Cade run down the middle, and he's got Ivey to swing to on one side and Bridges to swing to on the other side. And that just seems like a problem for us in the league. I was just wondering what you guys think about that.
Yeah, and you know what? That's the question, right? Ethan, thanks so much for the call. 313-552-6322. I'll come to you on this. You're the expert, Sean. Is DeAndre Ayton still in play? Is that still the target for the Detroit Pistons? You got $34 million in cap space?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So the short answer is most certainly DeAndre Ayton's at play. Let's remind something about Jalen Durant for a second, because this guy is a stud, but he's the youngest player in the draft. When the season starts, Jalen Durant will be 19 years old. So as of today, Jalen Durant is only 18 years old, 250 pounds, 6'11". This is a guy coming in that Detroit is expecting to take some time to develop and nurture and grow. So DeAndre Ayton, a guy who's 23, 24 as well, a guy that can come in and fits the timeline. The ability to have guys like Jalen Durant, if he was your backup center, talk about a luxury to have that type of rim protection on the court for 48 minutes. And then you have a guy like Isaiah Stewart who could come in as a small ball center, play and switch on the perimeter, kind of play like a Grant Williams or a mini Al Horford type role. I think absolutely DeAndre Ayton's at play. If you listen to Troy Weaver before the draft, he said whatever we did in this draft does not affect what we do in the offseason. And I think for the most part, that's true. I think drafting Jaden Ivey allows us to not go after a guy like Colin Sexton. I think we move off of those sweepstakes. However, with Ayton's ceiling, you're in on that no matter who you have on the team almost. With where we're at, you got to still go in. But Miles Bridges is also at play too.
Now, is Ayton a guy that Phoenix is going to match?
No. It sounds like all reports are suggesting they are hesitant to match and are seeking out sign and trade deals. So it looks like their preferred scenario is if they were to get at least something in return. It appears that Phoenix is hesitant on giving them that type of price tag with everything that they went through. It seems like after they lost the way that they did and the way the season ended, it just looks like Robert Sarver doesn't want to pay that luxury tax again. So,
and I want to come to you and ask you this. You see a lot of people talk about DeAndre Ayton. They say, where is his ceiling? They say, they haven't seen necessarily the growth that they would want to see at a guy that went number 1 overall. Mm-hmm. But when I watch the Phoenix Suns, they just seem like a very weird team. You got Mikal Bridges that shoots in the corner. You got Chris Paul that's shooting a lot of pull-up jumpers. They don't shoot as many threes as the other team. They shoot a lot of mid-range. Doesn't seem like they get DeAndre Ayton involved. It seems as though he has been trying to find his way, and even with Chris Paul, he's been trying to find his way. I think he would have a better time of finding his way here. I think he could be a star.
Right. Well, in addition, you look at what DeAndre Ayton's had to deal with in his time in Phoenix. We look at them and their success over the past couple of years, and it quickly dissolves your vision of what the Phoenix Suns have actually been.
Trash.
Let me refresh your memory, man. Garbage. They have been at the bottom of the Western Conference for like a better part of a decade. Robert Sarver's the cheapest owner in sports, one of the worst owner in sports, still getting investigated for the allegations and everything going on with the Phoenix Suns as well.
That's right.
So DeAndre Ayton in a situation in Phoenix where they might not have believed in him from day one or might have had buyer's remorse, but also just didn't give him that adequate support throughout his entire tenure. Whereas coming to Detroit, it's a fresh start. Troy Weaver and Dwayne Casey can help him nurture and develop and grow, but also they can hold him accountable because they're saying, if we're going to pay you this kind of money, you have to come in and perform. But the thing about Ayton, his ceiling is high, his floor is pretty darn high too. The guy's good right now.
If you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button for us. Subscribe to Woodward Sports as well. Sean Murphy at Sean Halfcourt talking Pistons with us in NBA. Ryan, Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, thanks so much for tuning in to Woodward Sports Network. I wanted to ask you about Miles Bridges.
Somebody's excited.
Look, I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like he's not a fit here. Whether it's Cade, whether it's Sadiq,
what about him is not a fit, just out of curiosity?
The fact that we've got Cade and Sadiq.
Gotcha.
Where I would disagree is that Miles Bridges is the type of player that can play with and without the ball. He's a guy that you talk about on the defensive side of the ball, can be very physical, can be a hawk, but in addition, he expands his game beyond the three-point arc this past season. He's able to, in the transition, be a rim runner, someone that they can throw the lob to. The thing is with Cade Cunningham is you can put just about anybody alongside him. The perfect thing about Cade is that he fits with anybody. He's that type of selfless player, and he's the type of Swiss Army knife as a player that he can literally go and play different types of roles. The thing about having Jaden Ivey on this team, we're going to see aspects of Cade's game that weren't able to be used this past year because Cade was relied on so heavily to be that primary scorer. So I just think there's just a lot about this team that that we're just going to see that's going to be different because of the result of this draft.
Go ahead, Brent.
And I agree with that, though, because I think in a guy like Miles Bridges, Michigan State's own, I think that you get a guy that is continuing to evolve. Miles Bridges doesn't know how good he can be. Miles Bridges stepped out to the three-point line this year. Not to mention, you also need athletes. We drafted Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey is going to be the best athlete on our team and one of the best athletes in the NBA. So is Miles Bridges. You bring another athlete in. Now, like, you got the physicality. Now you got a guy that can run both sides of the ball. Now you got a guy that can be a defensive prowess type player. He could be like a Tony Allen type player to me if I'm thinking about it.
So who is it then, Sean? Who is it? Is it Ayton? Is it Bridges? Who's the top target for Troy Weaver, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I still think that top target is going to be Ayton, just sheerly because, in my opinion, I think the ceiling of Ayton is higher than Miles Bridges. I think Miles Bridges is a fantastic player. In my opinion, Bridges might be the guy. In my opinion, he might be the more natural fit day one because of the absence of Jeremy. But I would say with Ayton's defensive prowess, with his ability to attack on the boards, put up 20 points as well, it's a guy that if you have the opportunity to go get, you got to put the offer sheet in. You just have to.
Yeah. Sean, I want to take a break. I'd like you to stay there.
Absolutely.
When we come back, Braylon, who's the veteran?
Yeah.
Where do you go to on this team? Outside of Kelly Olynyk, do we have anybody on this team that's not that's over the age of 23, 24 years old.
Dwayne Casey.
Dwayne Casey.
Dwayne
right.
Casey.
Because I do think there's something to be said for that. And you could probably speak to that more than anybody, Braylon, as a former professional athlete, just how important those veteran guys are. I mean, I watch Man in the Arena, and Tom Brady always talks about how
Willie McGinnis.
Willie McGinnis was that guy that he just went to.
Yeah.
He went to Willie McGinnis, and he wanted to soak up every bit of knowledge that he could about the NFL, about how to keep your body in shape, what to do on Tuesday nights, everything about that. So all that stuff, I want to ask you all these questions. We'll do it next, but first a message from MyBookie.
NHL playoffs and Major League Baseball is here. There is no better place to bet on your favorite teams than at mybookie.com. When you sign up for a new account, use promo code Woodward. They will match part of your first deposit. But if you do have a problem with gambling, call the Michigan Gambling Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Woodward Sports Network, Ermanni and Braylon Edwards, thanks so much for being along with us. If you're new to Woodward Sports, hopefully you like what you see, like what you hear. You can watch us live daily from 2 to 4. Don't forget about those morning guys, Morning Woodward Show.
Hell of a show, by the way.
8 to 10. Adam Baydoun, Terry Foster, Maddie Miller. They're kicking butt in the morning. And then, of course, Big D Energy from 11 to 1. Neil Rule, Darren McCarty, Stick and Jeff Iafrate were in the house today. Spencer Raxter, part of that show as well.
The Rax.
And then we hear
Rax.
Rax on Rax. We hear 2 to 4 every day, Monday through Friday. Bottom line, Woodward Sports Network. Tom Mazaway is part of this show as well. It is his daughter's graduation, so he is out today. But we are talking Pistons, and we're doing so in full effect, Braylon, with our guy Sean Murphy. You could follow him on Twitter at Sean Halfcourt. Braylon's just still I don't want to say stunned, but I'm just so happy. I think like today, for the last year we've been doing this essentially, which was we started August 12th. It's been miserable.
If it wasn't for Michigan State being as good as they were last year, and Michigan obviously winning the Big Ten, it would have been terrible. To be honest.
I mean, the Tigers had some hope in the offseason and totally suck. The Lions really, were one of the worst teams in the league last year. That sucked. The Red Wings are terrible. They suck. Hopefully they're on their way up. NHL Rookie of the Year in Mo Sider. And now the Pistons, it feels good to wake up in the morning and be able to talk about competent leadership with the Detroit Lions, who we think their top 2 targets were Hutchinson and Jamison Williams. It's nice to talk about competent leadership with the Detroit Pistons. It's nice to know that they got their top 2 targets as well in Jalen Duren and Jaden Ivey.
You're just tired of always talking about having to get rid of somebody. Like in Detroit sports, like when you come in every day, whether you're on the radio, whether you're on the air, whether you're on TV, whether on YouTube, whatever you're doing as a Detroit local analyst, you're talking about getting rid of this general manager, getting rid of this head coach, firing this player, trade this guy. This guy doesn't care about the team. This guy isn't a good fit. You get tired of talking about that. It's the same old stick, and you got to find ways. You got to find ways to make it fit. You got to find ways to keep people talking, keep people listening to you, bash your team, bash all 4 sports teams. It just feels like our sports teams, with the exception of one, are moving in the right direction. It just feels like we can have different conversations. We're not going to come in here and talk about all the guys we want to dump. Now we're talking about what can Aiden Hutchinson be?
Yep.
What's the ceiling on Jameson Williams when he comes back for injury? Mo Sider, what can he turn that into now that he's Rookie of the Year? The Pistons, Cade Cunningham, I think he should have been Rookie of the Year. Now you got a guy on your team who's going to be Rookie of the Year. Now you put those two guys together. It just feels like everybody's moving in the right direction. So it makes it fun to come to work, have conversations with you and my man Twin over here.
Sean, this team is extremely young. This team has such youth. I don't know this for fact, but I would have to say they're the youngest team in the NBA.
Yeah, so let me give you some stats that are pretty staggering. So my guy Sean Corp from Detroit Bad Boys today tweeted that this past season, minutes played by Detroit Pistons expected to be on the roster next season who are older than 23. It's at 1,364. Al Horford alone, who is 36 years old, who played just in these NBA playoffs alone, had 815 minutes. Ooh. So when we talk about how few people we have over the age of 23, you're talking about where are we going to be looking for that leadership? What are we going to do? Right now you have to look at the guys like that are still here, like Kelly Olynyk, Rodney Magruder, Corey Joseph, but in addition, it's going to take young guys to step up and take ownership and responsibility as well. Guys like Cade Cunningham take that responsibility not only on the court, but off the court as well. They're going to have guys be mature beyond their years and hold these guys accountable if they do want to make a run and push towards something like a play-in or a playoff.
Yeah, you were talking about the leadership role. You're talking about being on a team, talking about with experienced guys and veteran. It's a little different in basketball because, there's no, it's offense and defense. There's special teams. Basketball, Cade Cunningham is leading that whole team. Cade Cunningham is leading every player, whether you're a 2, whether you're a 3, and it's a positionless NBA as we know it anyway. But to your point about having those veterans, when I was in Cleveland, we were a terrible team. The veterans didn't care. They were just trying to get to the offseason. So I'm a young guy, and I'm trying to find my footing, and I'm losing my footing. When I got to New York, and I got around a guy like Alan Faneca, who had been in the Super Bowl, when I got around a guy like Thomas Jones, who had 9,000 yards going into that season, a guy that had been around other guys, they talk different, they walk different. When you insert LaDainian Tomlinson my second year and Jason Taylor, 2 Hall of Famers now, the conversations are different. They watch what you do. They give you a little advice because now that I'm year 5, they're telling me how to talk to guys. Hey, Braylon, man, what you see the young guy over there doing, man? They're not studying notes. They're not doing this. Why you see the young guys going out all the time? Why are we going out? Man, we're trying to win a championship. We're in the thick of things. Why are you guys eating Taco Bell every night? Hey, why are you eating Taco Bell every night? It's such the little things it's such the little things that the veterans see, that the veterans tell you. What am I going to do when Jason Taylor, who I know is going to the Hall of Fame, says, "Hey, yo, B, man, why y'all going out tonight?" You know what?
I'm not.
Exactly. I'm not. I wish I would listen to him a couple more times, but having veterans, it's the little things. You see them do things and you take, I give you an example. How many times are guys in Lakers, well, I guess they should listen more, seeing Kobe in that gym at 5 a.m., seeing Kobe in that gym at 10 p.m., and rest in peace to Mom, but you seen Kobe in that gym and you're looking at yourself like, this is arguably the greatest player to ever play basketball, and he's in the gym. Meanwhile, I'm just a guy.
Just coming in from last night.
I'm just coming in from last night. I'm just making it to practice barely on time, and then I'm leaving soon as practice is over. And you're watching the guy. The veteran guys, they make you see things differently, and then they talk to you differently, and that's how you get better.
Who is that Thomas Jones out there? Who is that LaDainian Tomlinson out there? And
Damian Woody.
Who is that Damian Woody out there in Braylon's case that is going to come in and help a Jaden Ivey or a Jalen Durant? And just as a point matter, Jameis Winston, Jamison Williams, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Durant. I mean, all these names got to be so similar, and I'm terrible with it. But is there a PJ Tucker out there? Is there a PJ Tucker type player?
No.
And I use him just look at the Miami Heat. Is there an Al Horford out there? Just a pro's pro, somebody that can come in and just teach these guys. Forget about what their ability is on the court. Can they come in and teach these guys how to be pros?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a great question. I mean, with the Detroit Pistons July 6th coming up with free agency, in addition with that salary cap, it also allows them to go out in the trade market as well. So even if we're not going after guys that are out there in free agency, that doesn't mean that Detroit doesn't have options to go make trades. I mean, you bring it up, Patrick Beverley, a guy that gets clowned on by NBA Twitter all the time, but he was a guy that came in, told Karl Anthony Towns, you need to stop worrying about your stats and worrying about how you're going to affect winning games. He talked to Anthony Edwards about how you got to bring it each and every single night. He went to that Minnesota Timberwolves locker room and said, we got to hold this accountable. Like you said, that's going to be important and crucial. But the reason why Troy Weaver talks about drafting the right person rather than the right player is because of that, is because of how important it is to have the right people. What a Troy Weaver guy is that guy that's going to be a gym rat, that's going to be there each and every day working hard. So you hope, maybe part of that is Troy Weaver trusts in the room that he has right now, the players that he has and their maturity for their age, and some of it can just be, we can improve and get a little older over the next week, but if we go into this season young and just learn some mistakes and improve and win some more games, it's not a bad route either.
I guarantee you, I agree with you 100%, both you guys, as it relates to the young guy. I know we keep beating this nail in the head, but we got to get a guy here, got to get some guys that are experienced. Because just look at the Memphis Grizzlies this year. Just look at the inexperience that they had in the playoff run this year. Look at the dancing after the winning. Look at the little things that they were doing. Look at the moments that they had. That's not lack of game. That's not lack of skill. It's lack of experience. Remember when LeBron took that team that was terrible to the NBA Finals, and after every game they were taking pictures and they were posing and they were doing all the young stuff, and then they went to the NBA Finals, got their ass whooped? That was that youngness. That was that youth. And LeBron learned that lesson. And LeBron took that lesson to South Beach. And then they stopped doing all that. Then LeBron can cuss Norris Cole out on the sideline. He can get after Mario Chalmers because he's been there as a young guy, and now he is the veteran. You got to have a veteran at some point. To your point, who do you go after? I like that Patrick Beverley idea.
Just looking at the Memphis Grizzlies roster, the oldest player on the Memphis Grizzlies roster last year
is Dylan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks was 26. Steven Adams was 28.
I forgot about Steven Adams is only 28?
Yes.
I feel like he's been in the league for 80 years.
I know.
Yeah, man, he's been here forever, but he's just...
Aquaman does not age.
Right. Right. I mean, that's just the point. Like, it's so young, but it goes to show you too. And Ja Morant, 22 years old. I mean,
having some fun,
absolutely,
as he should.
But 22 is not 19.
Yeah.
22 is not 20.
You're right. 22 is not 21.
That's a big difference, especially in NBA years where guys start their careers so much younger.
Yeah, well, in addition, too, you look at this Memphis, I mean, just to parallel with that Memphis team, we're in a very similar situation to when they brought in Ja Morant. That first year they brought in Ja, there was no expectations for Memphis to really do anything. Obviously, those first 2 years, they push and they get in the play-in tournament. The first year they get to the play-in, don't quite make it through. That second year, they get to the play-in, they make it, they get through the first round, but then the next year, they erupt. They're at the top of the conference. So the Pistons are going to have a couple years where they go through some peaks and valleys and really discover, what it's going to take for this team to grow together. And in addition, some of this season might be figuring out what are some of those missing pieces and who we might need to be adding going forward. Because remember, we don't just have salary cap now. We have salary cap opening up next year, too. So the Pistons have options,
Devin Booker?
which is something they haven't had in a long time. Hey, I would love it, man.
KD.
Some people are trying to tell me that Kevin Durant's available. But
I want to
listen,
talk
y'all,
about that at some point.
No, definitely. Let's talk about that. I want to talk about one more thing. Actually, I want to talk about a lot of more things.
Oh, 100%.
But here's a good thing. Now that you have a Jaden Ivey, now that you have a Jalen Durant, now that you see something for the Detroit Pistons, now you see them moving in the right direction. How is this going to help Cade? What part of Cade's game needs to change next year? What part of Cade's game needs to evolve? And I want you to answer that when we get back. Sounds good?
But
Absolutely,
first, a message from SMA.
The sports marketing agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the F Word, helps spread awareness about fentanyl and other addictions. The Sports MA, go to sportsma.com. If you have any needs, any concerns, if you think you or someone that you know may need help in these areas, hey, everybody needs to have the conversation. Everybody needs to know that it's okay to be okay. You need to find out reasons. Sean Jordan and NFL alumni do an amazing job at these conversations. Go to thesportsma.com.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Ribbit, ribbit. When you need apparel, there is only one place to go. Big Frog Novi.
Big Frog.
Big Frog. With
Ribbit.
no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround.
24 hours?
Only 24 hours.
That's quick.
That's very quick. You can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has the styles you want. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4BIG-FROG. That's bigfrog.com/Novi.
Big story today, the Detroit Pistons. Going to hear from Jaden Ivey momentarily. Jaden Ivey last night at the podium.
We're talking about Jaden Hunter.
Right, after being drafted. That's his dad.
Exactly.
Jaden Hunter. I mean, when he was in high school, when I was in high school, big-time player
Jaden's a friend
at
of mine.
Detroit Country Day.
We had Ron Johnson with Minnesota Vikings.
Absolutely.
Now his best friend is Jaden Hunter.
It's incredible. Incredible talent comes out of here. Fletch, do we have that? Here's Ivey last night, and then we'll talk about Cade.
It's just a dream come true for me. I can remember sitting, a young boy watching, some of the great players get drafted, and, I didn't want to stop until I was, walking across that stage, shaking the commissioner's hand. So, it's just a dream, come true. And, for all the kids that, have dreams and aspirations, if they put their mind to it and they work hard, they can accomplish it.
That's Jaden Ivey last night. Of course, his mom played for the WNBA Shock. His grandfather played for the Detroit Lions, and his dad, of course, as we just mentioned, Jaden Hunter. Detroit Country Day, Notre Dame, NFL,
Baltimore Ravens.
But yeah, we got to show you this. This proves, and shout out to Barstool Sports for putting this tweet out. Look at this tweet. Jaden Ivey is going to the Hall of Fame. Notable Kings lottery picks. Kings selected Marvin Bagley, number 2. The next pick was Luka Doncic. Then T. Robinson. I don't even know who that is. But in 2012,
Tony,
maybe at number 5. But at number 6, Damian Lillard. In the 11 draft, Jimmer Fredette at 10, Klay Thompson, number 11. So what they were saying was it all but assures that Jaden Ivey is going to the Hall.
and now we actually have Marvin Bagley.
Right? Is that great?
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's a damn good one.
Yeah. Kings are gonna king, baby. When in doubt, the Sacramento Kings are gonna king.
But the good thing about the Kings, like a quick note, let's get back to our team because I don't care about Sacramento. It's on the West Coast anyway, is they want to win now. It seems like they want to win. It seems like they went after Demonis Sabonis. They went after a guy in Keegan Murray, tall guy that could play. It seems like they want to win. So it seems like the NBA all around is moving in the right direction.
Yeah, and I do want to say, because a lot of Pistons fans are acting like we got away a highway robbery, which I still think we did, but it's not like Keegan Murray is going to be a bad NBA player. He selected number 4 overall for a reason.
Right.
Troy Weaver was reportedly really fond of him, and I'm sure he would have been okay with the idea of ending up with him at 5 as well. It's just we just know the truth, and it's that a team with Ivey on it is just going to have a higher ceiling and just has more upside with it. It just does.
Explosion.
Explosion.
Exactly.
Sean, to Braylon's question, what about Cade Cunningham, the number 1 overall pick last year? How does all of this kind of support him and his development?
Oh my goodness, this is huge for his development. I mean, first of all, talking about the fact that you don't have to be the sole number 1 guy each and every night to go out there and initiate the offense. That if the Pistons don't have you scoring at least 20-some points, then it's a wrap. You have the ability to have a guy like Jaden Ivey who can go out there, bump up the scoreboard, put out some buckets, but in addition, another guy who can run the offense as well. Cade Cunningham, one of the things we talked about, the reason why he was the number one pick was because of his versatility. It was not just because of his ability to play on the ball as a point guard, but it's his ability to play off the ball in other positions as well. So with this, it allows us to use Cade in other situations and circumstances and fits it best to the matchups that we're in, because there's going to be times where it's better with Cade bringing up the ball, and there's going to be times where it's going to be better if Ivey is. But now you have that option.
Yeah, here's another thing with Jaden Ivey he talked about. He talked about defense, and I'm gonna tell you what I think about it. I want to see what you think about it. He talked about defense. I think a lot of times, and I said this yesterday, I said this on Tuesday as well, Wednesday as well, I think sometimes guys in college get bored. And you got to harp on defense, and you know coaches in college, they harp on defense, et cetera, at least in Ann Arbor and East Lansing they do. But sometimes these guys get bored. These guys are ready to go to the next league. Sometimes these guys are so far above the players they're playing against, the game it's slow to them. You know, it's just like going to the CCRB, or it's just like going to the IM building.
Oh man,
or just
Well, you gotta think too. A lot of these guys, you're playing AAU basketball, high school basketball, year round growing up. All these games, you're really just trying to be seen as a prospect. You know, so a lot of it is you're not really thinking about the defensive end and urgency since we're playing another game this afternoon, this evening. Whereas in the NBA, each of these games matter. The 82-game schedule, man, it matters. So.
All right, Sean, here's the big question of all questions. You will never get a question like this ever again. Kevin Durant.
Oh, man.
So much... I don't even want to say speculation, because, look, we're here in Detroit. It is what it is. He's a guy that, you know, somebody says something nice about us, and we just go over the moon, goo goo gaga, and fall in love at first sight.
Yep.
He said something nice many times about Cade Cunningham. Said something nice about the Detroit Pistons many times in the past. Kyrie Irving, if he bolts for the Lakers, many people believe Kevin Durant is out in Brooklyn. Is Detroit, if that happens, is Detroit a viable option, or is there no chance whatsoever? Detroit Pistons fans, get over it. There is no KD here in the D.
No, it's not going to happen. And listen, man, I love Kevin Durant. He's one of my favorite players of all time. I have a jersey of his back at home. If there's a way I could try and maneuver and come up with a way in my head that we could end up with Kevin Durant, I would try to make it happen. But let's lay out the facts. Let's bring it down to reality. First of all, according to Bobby Marks of ESPN, their front office analyst, it would take the biggest trade package in NBA history to trade for Kevin Durant. This is a guy at the age of 32, a guy who just came off of a torn Achilles, has missed 20-plus games over the past 2 seasons, and this is a guy who, as great of a player as he is, as awesome as he is, let's be honest, if he's looking around the league at which teams he wants to join, he's not looking at the guys that are 22 years old, 21 years old, fresh out of college. He's looking at the guys who are veterans, who are tried, who have experience, who are battle-tested, because he knows that he can go to war with them and that they can stand the war of attrition when it comes to those playoff basketball minutes. So if we were 2-3 years down the road and we were at a point where we made the play-in and we were winning games and we were a little above 500, we'd be having a different conversation. But the simple truth of the matter is, if we had a team of all the people that said nice things about Kevin Durant, about Cade Cunningham, we'd have an all-star team.
DeMar DeRozan.
Come on.
DeMar DeRozan,
Chris Paul, Kevin Durant.
Bradley Beal is another guy that spoke. But I agree with Twin on this one. And the reason why I agree with Twin on this one is, like, look what KD does. He left OKC to go to Golden State. He left Golden State to go with Kyrie and go with James Harden. He wants to win. He wants to win now. Also, the bigger thing with KD just wants to play basketball. How many times have you heard KD's not a leader? KD's not the vocal leader. KD's not the guy to get guys going. KD's not the guy to go to the front office and say, you know what, drop Kyrie Irving. He's not the guy to go to Kyrie Irving and say, hey, what the hell are you doing? KD doesn't want to deal with kids. KD doesn't want to deal with anybody. He just wants to get on that court and be the Slim Reaper. So he darn sure wouldn't come to Detroit and deal with a bunch of guys, as you point out, that aren't the age of 24 yet. So he loves it, but at the same time, he doesn't want to coach these guys.
Hour number 1 in the books, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to continue on in hour number 2 of the program. If you are new to Woodward Sports, thank you so much for being a part making us a part of your day. Hopefully you like what you hear and continue on with us. We are going to stick with the Detroit Pistons. Sean, I want to ask you, Braylon, you as well, what are the realistic expectations for the Detroit Pistons next season? And you can't say NBA championship.
That's something you would say.
Okay.
Darn, you stole my answer.
Absolutely. So we'll do that next. But first, a message. And we're going to talk about our local guys, too. So much talk about them leading up to the draft. Caleb Houstan.
I heard they wouldn't get drafted.
Christie, Musa Diabaté. Want to talk about those guys as well. But first, a message from the Fulling Warehouse.
The Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck is the home of the original football bowling game. There are 2 ways to play: $12 unlimited open play or an $120 lane reservation for up to 10 people. You can also check out their $2 mystery beer machine and full bar. Check it out at thefollingwarehouse.com. Again, that is follingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Planet Fitness is inviting all high school teens between the ages of 14 and 19 to work out for free all summer long via the High School Summer Pass, and it lasts all the way until August 31st. Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere, and membership starts at just $10 a month, or you can get the black card for $24.99 a month. Join today in club or online at www.planetfitness.com.
Welcome in, hour number 2 of the program. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. We've got Sean Murphy at Sean Halfcourt. He's in Maz's chair today. Maz is out. It is his daughter's graduation.
How hard do you think Maz is working right now?
Oh, dude, I talked to him earlier today, Braylon. He was going to Gordon Food Service, picking up some food. I mean, it's 90 out there. You know, you're going to go out there, you're sweating your tail off.
George Costanza vibes.
Oh, man. And he's surrounded by all ladies, too. He's surrounded by all ladies. 3 daughters, a wife, even the dog's a girl.
That's right.
I mean, this poor sap. I mean, my goodness. If you are new to Woodward Sports, please go ahead and subscribe to Woodward Sports. Less than 400 subscribers away from 27,000 here on the network. Of course, let's see if we can get up to 200 likes by the end of this segment. If you are watching on YouTube, hit the like button. We'll see if we can get to 200 by the end here of this segment. Pistons, big night last night. Jaden, Ivey, Jalen Durant. They are Detroit Pistons. They are 2 top targets by Troy Weaver last night. And look, this team got better. This franchise perhaps took part. It was a franchise-changing night last night. To help us talk about it, our good friend Sean Murphy, Woodward Pistons. Give him a follow on Twitter at Sean Halfcourt. Braylon, I want to come to you with this first. This team is young. This team is exciting. This team has a lot to learn. This team is very athletic. This team is on the rise. But what are the realistic expectations for this team next year? 23-59 they were a year ago. Of the 82 games they played, they only won 23 of them. Is there a win total in your mind that is acceptable? Is there a win total in your mind that you would like to see? And you can't say winning the NBA championship. Not next year.
I think, to be honest, I think 32 would be acceptable. I think 32 is around the realm where you say, hey, you know what? Look, they took a 9-game step in the right direction. You see it'd be a second year next year for Jaden Ivey. It would be a second year. Well, you get what I'm saying.
Yep.
It would be the end of his first year. I think it would be a good first year for that. Cade Cunningham, it would be his second year as a leader. I think Saddiq Bey was fine and established his role this season. I think that's what his job is. Saddiq Bey step up. Saddiq Bey step up. Saddiq Bey step up. So I think 32 would be the acceptable number. I got him at 38.
And again, Sean, this isn't, we don't even know who this team is yet.
Yeah.
I mean, what is today? June 24th. So we've still got about 13 days, 2 full weeks before the free agent period starts.
The reason why
trades.
The reason why I said 32 is I think the acceptable number, and the 38 is where I had him. Cade Cunningham is beyond his years as a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you watched him starting in camp last year, like he was leading, and they wanted to follow him. They had no problems. There were no little quarrels. There were no little skirmishes, at least nothing that came out. They followed him. He was very vocal. Like, this guy gets it. He didn't talk about being the – what did they ask him after the first 13 games? He said, I don't want to be the rookie of the first month. He said, I want to be the rookie of the year. I want to be the player of the year. I want to be what they need me. You saw him defer at times. You saw him step up and score 27 points in the half when he needed to. So I think last year you saw what he could be as a leader, and that's why I think 32 is what's acceptable after what I saw out of him. Now you add Jaden, Ivey, Jalen Durant, and maybe some more pieces in the free agency like you meant. I realistically think 38 is what they're going to do, and what they have the capacity so far to do.
Sean?
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm right in foot and step with Braylon in the sense that I think an acceptable thing is anything over 30 wins. You want to see progression. You want to see us go into a different step. I mean, this is a team over the past 2 years that has combined 43 wins over 2 seasons. I mean, the first 1 year was shortened due to COVID, but obviously still not where you want to be. I think anything above 30 wins is an acceptable season for them, but I'm going to go with 35, 36 wins. You're looking at about what kind of teams are holding that record this past year, and you're looking at teams like the Wizards, the Knicks, and it's like, I think we can be better than the Wizards next year. I think there's certainly room for that. So you look at who's around that area. You look at who's in that bubble. I think the Pistons certainly have a chance to possibly push for a play-in game and perhaps even an 8 seed in the playoffs if they truly go crazy there.
And that's another thing why I think 32 is acceptable. And I got him at 38, but I think 32 is acceptable because one thing we're not talking about, one thing we got to remember, the East is the new beast.
Yep.
This is not the old East. This isn't the one LeBron was dancing on for years and years. The East is real now, and that's who they're going to play against. Their division alone is tough as nails. So I think that's why you look at 32 and you look at them. If they can win 32 games, like he said, I think they're going 38. My twin says 35, 36. But if they can be competitive in those games, if you can be competitive in those 48 to 50 losses and win 32 games, it makes sense considering what the East is as a powerhouse now.
I want to get the YouTube chat involved. Mark Royal says 45 wins. Randy Ballin Balin says 35 is realistic. Yeah. Not making the playoffs as currently constructed. Cole Culkin says 40. Cube says anything close to 500. 3MR Wright, super young, no real vets unless you count Kojo or Kelly O. Duke Nokem, 42. Benjamin Foe, 33. I am going to say 43.
I knew you were going to say over 500.
And I'll tell you why, though. 43 wins. This team is $34 million in cap space this year. So I do think they are going to make a big splash in the free agency or a sign and trade or something like that to get a marquee player here. Whether it be DeAndre Ayton, whether it be Miles Bridges. I am not a Miles Bridges guy. I think he's super athletic. I think he's a very good player. But I just think he stunts the growth of Saddiq Bey and Cade Cunningham to me because I might not know anything, but that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I just don't think you need him. I don't think you need to spend your money there. Personally, I could be wrong on that. I'm okay. It's just a sports opinion.
I love it. How I can understand why you say that. You don't see Miles Bridges as a all-star type player. You don't see Miles Bridges, like they were trying to say about KD, making a team better. You just see Miles Bridges as an athlete. You see Miles Bridges as having, he stepped outside. He can shoot a little bit this year. He's athletic. But you don't see him as a guy, he's going to change our franchise. I can understand that.
Yeah, I feel like you got Saddiq Bey. You don't need to go spending a max deal on Miles Bridges.
Yeah.
That's how – it's not so much about Miles Bridges Bridges as much as it is I'm high on Sadiq Bey.
Right.
I think Sadiq Bey can become Miles Bridges. So you got that guy here already. Don't stunt the growth. But 43 wins to me. Just quickly,
Go ahead, please.
43. Last year, Charlotte got into the play-in game. They were the 10th seed in the East, 43 and 39. So you said the East is the beast. You got to be above 500. There's no 10 game under 500 to get you into the play-in. You're going to have an above 500 record. I'd love to see 43. I'd love to see this team sneak into a play-in next year, even if they lose. Sneak into a playoff. I think that would be incredibly. That would be an incredible jump next year because I just don't think they're done.
And don't sleep on that Charlotte team, though. You're talking about Melo. You're talking about Rozier. You're talking about Miles Bridges. You're talking about Gordon Hayward, who obviously they're trying to move around and move him. But they had some players on the team last year. What I wanted to come with you on, Twin, a.k.a. Sean Murphy. I want to ask you, we talked about Cade, the jump that he needs to make. We talked about how Jaden Ivey can help him make that jump. Sadiq Bey is a guy that Ryan keeps bringing up. Sadiq Bey is a guy that I keep bringing up. Obviously, he broke Allen Houston's record last year for most threes made in the season. Mm-hmm. Where can Sadiq Bey get better? How can Sadiq Bey help Jaden Ivey, Jalen Durant, and Cade Cunningham?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first thing with Sadiq Bey has got to be consistency. I mean, there's nights where Sadiq Bey can shoot out the gym and torch the nets on fire better than anybody. And then there's also nights where Sadiq Bey is 1 of 12 from the field and is nowhere to be seen. Yeah. So I think that's just one thing where Sadiq's scoring just needs to be more consistent across the board. In addition, I just think you're just going to have to see continued growth from Sadiq on the defensive end. He's already someone that's super solid, but he's going to have to be someone that's going to become a leader on that end. I think for Sadiq, it's going to be very similar to Cade, where a guy like Jaden Ivey comes in and makes his job easier because it's another guy that takes tension away from Sadiq. It allows him more open looks and allows him to potentially get some easier shots because Sadiq this past year, the second weapon, someone that they're looking at on the scouting report now being the number 3, having another guy you have to worry about, that changes entirely how you have to defend and look at things. So I think a lot of it is just very similar stuff with young players. It's just how do you consistently get that shot going down? Because if Sadiq can consistently score, then that's a guy who already can be all-star caliber or on the door for sure.
Yeah. Who's better than the YouTube viewers? I'm 6 likes away from 200. I asked for 200 by the end of this segment. Woo. And we are nearly there. We certainly appreciate it. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to Woodward Sports.
They show love, man.
Absolutely.
They've been showing love. August 12th we got here, and they have been showing love nonstop ever since, man. I appreciate you guys.
Without question. Sean, I want to ask you next, and Braylon gets you in, obviously. Max Christie, Musa Diabaté, and Caleb Houstan all drafted last night, fairly early in the second round. We talked about those guys a lot. You know, did they make the right choice staying in the draft? We'll get your take on it. Looks like they did. We'll do it next. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. It is no secret that new cars are hard to come by, but they are available at Les Stanford. You gotta make a plan, though. Allocation coming in for lease or purchase of new vehicles. Les Stanford also has over 350 pre-owned cars on their lot right now. All makes, all models, all years. Some of them with less than 500 miles. For more, visit LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com. Also, find new roads. But also, on July 27th, we're going to be out there.
We're going to find those roads.
We are broadcasting live from the dealership there on Michigan Avenue in Dearborn. The new Corvette Z06 is going to be on display there. We will get a look at it, and we invite you out as well. That's July 27th. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
I'm back. Hey, 9 out of 10 winners I gave you guys. Hey, nothing but fun coupons coming out of the Woodward Bet Show. You guys got to make sure you're checking us out at 4:30. Also, you guys got to make sure you check out oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, and it's the best place to check all the odds right in the palm of your hand. But hey, let's get back to that winner. I mean, we've been red hot. We're going to stay hot. Listen, we're going to roll with the Phillies tonight. Phillies are 5-0 in Aaron Nola's last 5 starts. We're going to roll with that. OddsTrader.com, Woodward Bets. Check it out.
Alta.
Alta.
Our friends at Alta Equipment know that when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. That's why Alta Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. There's nothing your project can throw at you that Alta can't handle. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today. Alta Equipment, where uptime matters.
You know, it's so funny. We were just talking about KD about 15 minutes ago. Kevin Durant. You look up on ESPN and Bobby Marks and Richard Jefferson. They're all talking about what a Kevin Durant trade would look like. Yeah. Because I mean, it all but seems like Kyrie Irving is out of Brooklyn. It just feels like that, and the ramifications that could have. In the league, because look, I mean, hell, Brooklyn, were they at this time last year? Were they the not this time, but
favorites?
At the beginning of the season, anyway,
they were the
favorites to win it all.
They were the favorites the year before. They were favorites last year. They were favored during the season, and currently, before the Kyrie stuff, they were number 2. After the Warriors won it, they were favored number 2. Look here, and I understand, you as an individual, you got to do what's best for you. Kyrie is a great person, all that other stuff. With that aside, let's talk about what you do as a basketball player for your friends, for your teammates. Everywhere he's gone, he's disappeared on his teammates. He left Cleveland because he said, I got to win it on my own. He left the Celtics because he said, Danny Ainge doesn't get it. They don't get here. I got to go somewhere. He coerced. Kevin Durant wasn't going to Brooklyn.
That's true.
He was going to the Knicks. He coerced him to come to Brooklyn. He coerced, and then made James Harden come there because that's what KD did. They got the band back together. And now he just said right before, a week before, what did he say? He said, I would never leave my brother KD. Now he's on his way out. You have not played more than 60 games but 3 times in your NBA career. You won't opt into a $36, $37 million deal because you're like, no, y'all owe me more. He wanted the max contract. How can I give you a max contract if I can't do what, Ryan? Trust you. How can I trust you? I don't understand Kyrie, man. But he is going to make it the easiest decision and the easiest people ever looked at KD in terms of leaving a team, because everybody was mad at him leaving OKC. Everybody was mad that he left the Warriors. This would be the first time that KD leaves the team, and I think everybody will be in agreement that, you know what, I understand.
We got Sean Murphy in the house. You can follow him on Twitter at Sean Halfcourt, part of our Woodward Pistons in for Maz today. Maz is out. It's his daughter's graduation party, and we certainly wish Abby a happy day today. The weather is perfect for a graduation
right off the
party.
Water too, beautiful, man.
Absolutely. Sean, pick up a thought on that. Just what? Look, he's not coming to Detroit,
right? Of course.
But what does a Kevin Durant trade look like? I mean, what is the market for Kevin Durant?
Jaden, Ivey, and Kate Cunningham.
No, I mean not so much for Detroit, but I mean even if you look at the East, right? Look at the top teams in the East: Miami, Boston, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Toronto, Chicago. Is Kevin Durant? I couldn't even think of it.
He could pull a Kawhi Leonard.
Clippers?
Go to Toronto. No, Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah, the short answer is you'd have to give up the farm. I mean, this is a guy who is on the short list of proven players who could be the best player on a championship team. Kevin Durant, his ability to score on the offensive end, the things that he can do on the defensive end, this is a guy who is still legitimately in the conversation as the best player in the world. So talking about if Kevin Durant gets traded wherever he goes, Kevin Durant shifts the balance of power within the NBA. How we perceive an entire conference can change based on whether or not Kevin Durant's in that conference. So when I'm looking at this situation, Kyrie Irving, you talk about, how does he keep getting away, how does this keep happening? How does he keep getting away with this? How does this all keep happening? The simple answer is they let him. He's talented. That's the thing. It's a thing you see all the time. I mean, in the world of sports or just in general, if you can have those gifts that Kyrie Irving has, you put up a whole lot and you deal with the whole lot, because Brooklyn, they were, listen, Listen, man, they were willing to deal with it up until now because it was what got them Kevin Durant. Yeah. It was never about Kyrie. It was always about getting to KD. So for Brooklyn, obviously, you just got to feel for them and just got to be super frustrated. But at the same time, they let this happen. They let Kyrie walk all over them. And now, of course, when he doesn't get his way, he's going to react this way.
You want an analogy? I'm going to give you an adult analogy. And I say adult. I know it's a kid's show, but, you put your thinking caps on. I'll say it that way. You say, how did this happen? And he says it because he let him. Like, when you get mad at Kyrie, I can't believe he's doing this to us. I can't believe he's doing this, Kevin. I'm talking about the front office for the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie. Oh, he doesn't want to play. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes out there one game back and drops 50. And he looks like he's in not even mid-season form. He looks like he is in prime form. Every time he comes back, every time you allow him the chance to come back, it's just like that one girl you won't stop messing with. Like, dang, why you keep messing with? And then you're like, okay, I get it.
Braylon, it's so hard, and Sean, it's so hard right now to do a topic like this because we don't know what the teams are going to look like. But just based on last year, in the Eastern Conference specifically, and again, top seed in the East last year was Miami, then Boston, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Toronto, Chicago, those 6 teams. And no disrespect to Miami, Boston, Philadelphia, I feel like next year it is the Milwaukee Bucks still as the best team in the Eastern Conference because I believe Giannis Antetokounmpo is the best player.
I mean,
he's the second. I'm a KD guy. I think KD, when healthy, is the best player. But Giannis, I think, does more. I think to your point, Giannis is better all around overall because Giannis is a guy that's going to get you ready. Giannis is a guy that has finally put himself in the role. I see Giannis talking stuff. I see Giannis and Thanos over there. They're getting after these guys. I see Giannis like being that guy on the sideline, being that guy in the locker room, being that guy in the offseason. And we talk about this all the time, Ryan. Foreign players do what? All they do is play basketball. Like you don't see Giannis out here doing anything in the offseason but play basketball. Giannis is gonna get this thing together, and to be honest, it's not even about Giannis. If Chris Middleton is not hurt, I'm not sure we're not seeing back-to-back Milwaukee Bucks championships. So I absolutely agree with you. Milwaukee should be the favorite.
Yeah, without a doubt. And the thing with Giannis and KD, it's such a difficult debate because if both are available on the court and healthy, there are few better players in the history of the game of basketball. But one thing you have to talk about, the best form of the best ability is availability. Who's the guy that can count on being there night in, night out? And Giannis Antetokounmpo is a guy that I've seen overcome moments that, I mean, we remember last year in the playoffs against the Hawks where it looked like he tore his ACL, and then all of a sudden he came out the next game, looked like nothing happened, and then went in the finals and had one of the most dominant finals performances in the history of the league. So the thing about Giannis is that he's just never stopping. He's a freight train, and really all you can do to stop either of these guys is pray.
Not only, and you just hit the nail on the head by saying freight train, Ryan. I may, even though I'm a KD guy, the Slim Reaper, I think is one of the coldest nicknames of all time, I may have to agree with you, and the reason is sometimes KD has off nights. And that off night, because KD doesn't like to shoot a lot of shots. We've all known that. Russell Westbrook complained about that years ago, him not shooting a lot of shots. Sometimes, like, KD might have 21, but when he has 21, everything else suffers because his shooting suffers. So he might have 3 assists. He might have 4 rebounds. Giannis, an off night for Giannis, you know what that looks like? 25, 14, and 6.
There's no chance that Philadelphia is blown up and Embiid goes to, let's say, Miami. Is there?
No, I mean with Philly, you've put far too much into the process, into where you've been now. I mean, with Joel Embiid, that's a guy that has been committed to the city of Philadelphia. They have that situation with him and James Harden there. Very much looks like they're going to want to run that back and give that another try this season. Listen, I think Philly's just put too much time. The process was too publicized of a thing for that franchise and organization for them to blow up now, especially with how quick that is in fans' memory. So if the Philadelphia 76ers, Joel Embiid as of right now, you don't let him walk for anything.
Sean, the elephant in the room in the Eastern Conference. What is Ben Simmons?
Who?
What does Ben Simmons?
Who?
What does Ben
Is
Simmons
he in the league?
And the Brooklyn Nets look like if he's healthy and ready to go this year?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the X factor, right? Because Ben Simmons is a guy that with his playmaking, you actually look on the court, fits really well with a Kevin Durant. You forget what he can do as far as a defensive anchor as well.
Defensive second. What did he finish second? Defensive player of the year, finished second?
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, man, I'm a guy that I just like to root for redemption stories.
Yeah.
What happened with Ben Simmons, the collapse on national television and the way he's been berated over the last couple of years. I think he's a guy that his values maybe been overly corrected. I think at the beginning he was maybe overly valued. Now obviously way undervalued. So I think with Brooklyn, with him coming in, this is a team that even with all the struggles they had, were a team that was close to 50 wins this upcoming season. So if they find a way to somehow get Kyrie to convince him to come back and run it back, if you still have Kevin Durant and then you're able to actually give this a try with Ben Simmons and see where it goes, there's no reason that Brooklyn can't be there later in the playoffs. You know, with guys like Joe Harris coming back too and getting healthy again, other shooters on that court for them as well. You got to think that's going to help. But how are you going to bolster that roster around Kevin Durant and Kyrie? How are you going to make that team competitive with that limited salary cap space? It's not going to be guys like Blake Griffin nowadays. It's just not. So
I promise I'm going to get to these local guys, and I'm going to ask Sean too if Ryan Rollins from Toledo was there. Would they have taken him? Man, just 2 picks away. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Lady Jane's, we broadcast our show, our network, from the headquarters of Lady Jane's here in the great city of Birmingham. 15 and Woodward, precision haircuts from talented stylists. Over 100 locations nationwide, many of them locally here in the Metro Detroit area. All you got to do, walk in, sign in, sit down, and before you know it, you are handsome and clean. Ooh-wee! Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come on in. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Ermanni and Edwards chilling here in this what? Oh, it's Odds Trader. My bad. Let me start that over. Odds Trader. That's on me. I dropped the ball. Not in the games, though. OddsTrader.com, the number one site for all your game day bets. Begin your handicapping journey at OddsTrader.com. For play-by-play updates, live scores, and bet tracking down. Load Odds Trader from the App Store today. For the best price on every game, sign up for multiple sports book. Visit OddsTrader.com. All your teams, all your players. Go to OddsTrader.com. Get all your favorite bets. OddsTrader.com. Ermanni and Edwards on a cool Friday, having a good time with my twin, my man Sean Murphy. Sean, how you doing over there, buddy?
Braylon, I'm doing so good, man. It's really good to see you. Always a pleasure, man. Seriously, I got love for you guys and everyone on this show. Obviously, Mads, which he was here. Shout out to him. But seriously, man, this is the first time I've been able to actually co-host a show on the network with people too. So this is awesome, man. This is a great opportunity. I'm having a blast. It's great to be here with my guys.
Doing some good stuff. Hey, check this out as Ryan runs back. Now it's time to talk about.
Sorry, man. Look.
Oh no, you're good, buddy.
Okay.
You're good. You know, in terms of bathroom breaks from August 12th till now, I still got you beat by a cool 400.
I think that's the second time I've ever gone.
Listen, Ryan, sometimes
400.
Listen, Ryan, sometimes you got to try so hard to contain your excitement, you can't contain your bladder. You know what I mean?
Seriously, I think that's the second time in 10 months that I actually went to the bathroom during the show.
But you interrupted my segment.
Oh, sorry.
But you interrupted my segment.
I'm here.
I can
you lead. I'm going to follow you. Here we go.
I can continue now?
Yes.
In the draft last night.
Your show.
Yesterday and this whole week, we talked about the guys from Michigan State and Michigan. Were they going to get drafted? Did they make decisions? Well, guess what? I think those guys know a little bit more than us. Caleb Houstan goes 34 overall. Am I
32.
correct? 32. Now you lead. I'm done.
Caleb Houstan, 32. The Orlando Magic take him. I think Hunter Dickinson tweeted out the Orlando Wolverines because they got Mo and Franz Wagner.
That's right. Yeah.
They're having a lot of fun over there. Look, Houstan, 32. Max Christie, a couple of picks later. The Lakers take him at 35, and then Moussa Diabaté goes to the Clippers at 43. So
Ryan Rollins and then goes.
And then Ryan Rollins. Yeah. Oh my God, I wanted Ryan Rollins. Do you think do you think Ryan Rollins would have gotten taken by Detroit, Sean?
He's about to hurt your feelings.
So I do want to let you know, because you're talking about how we were 2 picks away. I want to let you know that's actually not true. We had the 36th pick rather than the 46th pick. So in reality, we passed on Ryan Rollins.
Okay.
And so the reality is, listen, man, I think with this second round, and even who we did pick, with this 36th pick, Gabriel Procida, he's a guy, touted as one of the best shooters in the class, a guy from Italy that is touted as a guy that has potential upside, but this is a pick that reportedly is going to be stashed. He's going to be staying overseas for now. For the Pistons, you want to keep that salary cap space, that flexibility for the offseason, but also realistically, the tough thing with guys like even the guy that we drafted last night, and Ryan Rollins, is when would they find playing time? When would they play? Especially in a backcourt that, in my opinion, last night just got even harder to find some playing time in. So
I want to say 2 things about the guys that came out. Talk about Moussa Diabaté, Max Christie, and Caleb Houstan. The first thing that I want to say is they know when they know. Like I told you about the process. Like when I was thinking about coming up my junior year, we had submitted my name into the hat. Submit your name into the hat. They give you a read back. They told me, and I don't know how the NBA's is, but they told me as high as the 13th pick overall, and then as low as pick 42 in the second round. So we said the discrepancy was there. I'm pretty sure in the NBA it's only 2 rounds. I'm pretty sure they know. I'm pretty sure they talk to teams. I'm pretty sure they can say, hey, these guys are going. That's why Max Christie didn't back up off it. That's why Caleb Houstan didn't back up off it, and neither did Moussa Diabaté. So they went. On the other side, the further you get from high school, the further away you are from, why is that guy still here? Why is that guy still playing? Why is that guy not making a move? See, now they still have that potential, which is the key word. You're 1 year removed from high school. You're still technically 18. Some of these guys might not turn 19 until later this year. So you're still close to what you were in high school, which still has that potential. Look at a guy like Johnny Juzang. Shout out to my dad, by the way. He gave me this little nugget.
UCLA.
Yeah, my dad gave me this little nugget, so I always give credit where it's due. Johnny Juzang was the guy that bust Michigan's butt. That final they had 2 years ago, or the NCAA tournament, Johnny Juzang was killing it at UCLA. He was a lottery pick last year in terms of the projection. And now he comes back for another year. Didn't get injured. Didn't get in any trouble, comes back for another year. UCLA doesn't have necessarily a good year. They don't have a good performance in the NCAA tournament. Johnny Juzang didn't get drafted.
That's crazy.
And to me, Johnny Juzang is better than 2 of the 3 guys I just named.
I agree with you.
Didn't get drafted.
That's a great call.
So, shot to Stan. So sometimes the further you get, well, this is me right here. Sometimes the further you get from being 18, where that potential is there, we're 18, and then 19, then that turns to 20. It's like, what the hell are we doing? And then 21, you might as well forget about it.
Who is that player at Michigan State?
Kelvin Tolbert.
Yes.
Kelvin Tolbert. I knew exactly where you.
Yes.
Am I lying?
If he left after his first
year.
year.
No, high school.
Yeah.
High school, he'd have been 10th pick overall.
Yeah. And if he left after his first year, he would have been a top 10 pick.
Lottery. He'd have been like Jason Richardson.
It's crazy.
I knew exactly what you were about to say.
Even Michael Porter Jr. a few years ago, a guy who a year before was touted as a #1 prospect in a class, and then the next year went 15th overall. You truly never know what can happen. In addition, I think a big advantage for these guys that went in the second round, you talk about these local guys, you're going into a system now. I mean, obviously Caleb Houstan going to Orlando, you're gonna have plenty of playing time there. A team where they're young, they're still trying to figure out who they are. They're gonna play a lot of their players and figure out who they are, right? And then for a guy like Max Christie to go to the Lakers, you think, oh well, he's never gonna see playing time there.
He'll play.
Not so fast, not necessarily, because they're trying to find that kind of value in the draft. There's a reason why they traded up into this draft. And the other thing, they can find playing time, but also not have that pressure, because when you're going to the Lakers, when you're going into the Clippers, those are established programs that don't need you to
Yeah.
be this amazing player to win basketball games day one. You can come in, play with great players, learn how to play the game, and the number one thing, you don't have to worry about all the extra crap that comes with it. You can focus on basketball and basketball only because it's your job now.
How about
I agree
Diabaté, too,
100%.
though? I mean, he goes there, and guess who he gets to learn under? Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard.
You know, I mean, isn't that and Paul George? That's so great.
He can learn how to not play.
Hey, Sean. So I did it with Ryan Rollins, but since you're totally right, and the Pistons had the 36th pick, one pick away, Max Christie. If he was there at 36, would he have been? You know?
That's a good. That's a
I
good
mean,
one.
Max Christie would have been there
Yeah.
at 36.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, again, the reason why we went with that foreign player, I think Troy Weaver saw, that opportunity to get a guy who has that potential, because at the very least with someone overseas, with Max Christie, he could probably come in. But the other thing, where is he going to find that playing time? It's the ability to get that guy in the second round, still have the rights, but at the same time doesn't necessarily hit the salary books this year. Doesn't really affect the flexibility and the things that you have going for you right now. So it adds value, and if he ever comes over to the league, we can definitely give him a try and see what happens. But for now, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it's ultimately about what the Pistons did in that first round.
Tell the truth. He saw that movie with Adam Sandler. He saw Bo Cruz. He saw hustle. He was thinking about hustle. That's what it was. No, but how much does this hurt college programs? How much does this hurt college programs from this standpoint? You look at a guy like Max Christie. He had a lot of, he was highly touted coming in. Tom Izzo wanted him. Tom Izzo he was in that living room all the time. He was talking to moms, talking to him, getting them in, got him in. He didn't play that good. He didn't play that well. In fact, you didn't really hear his name that much after January. He still got drafted 35th.
Yep.
Look at Caleb Houstan. I didn't hear Caleb Houston's name until the Big Ten tournament, into the NCAA tournament where he had the 22 points when what's his name got injured. And he goes before Max Christie. Moussa Diabaté, it was no way in hell. We thought Moussa Diabaté was going to get drafted. We thought he would make somebody's G League team.
70th best player on the ESPN.
70th best player.
And
he goes
43.
How much does that hurt programs? Because now players are like, shoot, I don't even have to be that good and I can get drafted. All I got to do is be great in high school and then have some sizable measure. Does that hurt, you think? Yes or no?
I think so, a little bit, yeah.
I think it certainly does. Well, let me counter with a question, Braylon, because I kind of wonder if something like the NIL in a few years could potentially affect this as well, because now you're going to have guys like these players that are available in the draft.
Hunter Dickinson.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only reason he's back. Is NIL.
Exactly. So
and
now,
the ability to make
in my
money.
opinion, I think you're going to see over the next few years, it could balance out a little bit, because right now, as you saw over the last couple of years, there were things like the G League Ignite that were brought in. In addition, you're seeing more and more American players going overseas and coming back and succeeding from doing that. So I think the simple truth is you're seeing that there's just more options than ever. And it used to just be that college was the only viable option. It's just not the case anymore. You can go and there's more than one path to the league. We've seen guys go through high school before. We've seen guys, go through college, the one and done. Europe, but now we just see again that the G League is a viable system. So if these guys come in and want to say, hey, I want to make the pro jump now, even though my game might not be the most ready, well, they have these facilities and these coaches and these trainers, and also you can start making some money too.
Hey, Sean, leave us with a thought. Give me something good on the Pistons. How good you feel about this organization moving forward. We're going to bring Scottie G in, part of our Woodward Bets team next. We'll give you a little bit of a breather because I know you're hopping on with those guys in a little bit too. Thanks so much for today. We can't thank you enough. At Sean Halfcourt, give me something good. 10 seconds on the Pistons. How good do you feel?
The Detroit Pistons have a top 2 young core in the NBA.
Top 2. Behind?
I would put them behind the Memphis Grizzlies right now.
Fair enough. Love it. Everybody, if you're not doing it already, follow him on Twitter at Sean Halfcourt. Some really, really good NBA, some really good Pistons
You better
stuff.
do your research.
Sean Murphy, our Woodward Pistons, in studio with us in for Mass today. Thank you so much, Sean. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all for having me, man.
Love you, buddy.
My
But
guy
first,
right
the message, and Braylon's twin, by the way, Sean.
There we go. We are twins.
We'll get to Scottie G next, part of our Woodward Bets team. See if we can make you a little money tonight and this weekend. But first, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
Join the Pepper Club at Chili Peppers Tanning. You'll get all the best deals, plus they will be all all competitors by $5. Chili Peppers has the hottest bulbs, hottest deals, and darkest tans. 26 locations and more on the way. And if you are pale as hell like myself, Sean Murray, or Murphy, or Fletch in the audio booth, visit visit any Chili Peppers tanning location, or if you just want to get a good tan, go to Chili Peppers today.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the Bottom Line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live, all right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Buffets are back.
Buffets?
Yes, are back at
Slim
Big
Jim.
Boy at participating locations every weekend from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Don't forget to try the classics like the aforementioned Slim Jim, Dolly Chicken Sandwich, and of course, the original Big Boy. Find your nearest location at bigboy.com.
Big Boy. Put it on there, Braylon. Get it out, baby.
Y'all down here getting my beard
A
tight.
green one?
Yeah, man. I've always had a green one, man.
I never noticed it.
Hey, man, I got a new barber, man. He gets me nice, man. He's just the razor on my neck, my back. Give me hot towel.
Is it here?
Hey, man, it should be. It should be. It should be. You know, I'm still a little nervous.
Look at
You know
that.
what I'm saying?
And now, Braylon, what would it take? Do you believe you're always going to have the beard?
No.
You look great with the beard.
I appreciate it.
But I'm sure you look great without the beard, too.
I think there's strength in hair. You know, I think, you know, kings used to wear beards. King wore their hair long. So I believe I descend from kings, as do you, as does Sam, as is my boy Fletch in the booth. So I think there's something about hair. I mean, look at Fletch.
I love it.
Fletch has the long hair. It's power in hair. But I think I will cut my hair at some point because it'll make me look younger. Right now, I still look young. But like when I feel like I'm starting to look like I'm 50, when I'm 50, I shave it off so I can prove to you guys I'm still young.
And shout out to my partner here, Braylon Edwards. So, my other job today.
I know I'm too tall for the mic, so I'll sit down in a second.
My other job today.
Oh man, you got ketchup stain.
No, it's like a
makeup.
It's like a mayo ketchup chutney type.
Oh, it was a combo sandwich.
So my other job, I had a burger segment gone wrong. I took a bite of the burger. And it all just came down on my chest.
I think Joey's hosting a burger eating competition on Sunday at Eastern Market.
That's what we had on.
That's what it was.
Burger Battle Detroit.
See? I pay attention.
So we had that, and Braylon's like, wait, I got a shirt in my car. I played in a golf tournament today, and I got this shirt.
Yeah.
So Braylon goes out minutes before the show because I looked terrible with that stain on my shirt.
Right.
And he gets me this from the golf outing.
Yeah, it was. And
Thanks, partner.
I appreciate that. Not a problem at all. One, it was good. You had a red shirt on. It was just a little wrinkled up a little bit. I said, hey, this is a nice shirt. Detroit, supporting Detroit officers as well. So
that's what's up.
It was a fun outing. Now you look good over there, man.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
You look like you're representing North Carolina State, like Big Game Boomer said.
That's what's up. Hey, guys, let me bring in Scottie G, part of the Woodward Bets team, at G_Rising. Scottie, baby, count that money, baby. Count that money. Now,
that's all we've been doing is counting cheese around here.
You've been winning.
9 out of 10 days on that segment I do that gets blasted on every show.
You got 9 out of 10. Where were you a year ago?
I was here. Maybe you just didn't know the right channel to get
man.
It's all good we're here at Woodward Sports together. But hey, I got to give Braylon some shit. He says,
hey,
you know, when I start to feel like I'm 50, that's
excuse the language,
this guy
audience.
sitting here just turned 50. It's like a kick right in the balls there.
No, but you look good, though. I'm saying when I get a little older. See, right now, the beard hides the young face. But eventually, that beard, they're going to say, oh, you look kind of old. Now, when I cut it off, I'm going to look good again. Man, you look good, though. You got a booty face. You got booty face. You got no hair on that thing.
I do get carded sometimes, even though
see,
I'm 21.
because you don't have no facial hair.
I'm not complaining.
Hey, Scottie, so without further ado, 9 of 10 on the segments that we do here. Where are we going tonight? What do you like to see tonight?
Well, the one pick I already gave out today was the Phillies against these Padres here. Nola's been pitching really well. 5 wins in his last 5 starts for the Phillies. I just think it's a pretty good spot here. And then I got another one I was looking at. Now, we talk about some dew points. We talk about little things to look at, especially in baseball. When you're getting around the 60 and the mid-60 range for dew points, that is excellent hitting conditions. But when you're around that 70, which is not that often that you see it throughout a season, but those are elite hitting conditions. We have one of those games today with Colorado and Minnesota. So I expect a little bit of runs in that game here today.
I want to follow up with that because that's how intricate some of this stuff is. And we're talking to Scottie G, part of the Woodward Bets crew, 4:30 Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock on the weekends. Scottie, you're talking about dew points. That's how precise some of this research goes. When you're looking at how humid the air is to see if that ball is going to go out.
No, it's real.
People can laugh all they want, but that's the kind of stuff that you guys are providing. Dew points.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Ryan. I mean, you know, as a sports bettor, we all have our things, and as the more time you do it, you come up and you see different things and stats that you like. And, you know, I've just learned over a certain amount of time that if I bet something over a long period of time, a plus even rate has a pretty good chance at being, you know, on the plus side. So in different situations. So I just like to keep myself in them types of situations. If I lose, so be it. You're not going to win every time, but at least I feel good about what I thought about what my process was. But yes, the dew point is something. Baseball is a very important thing. In you know, the weather is very important in baseball to pay attention to. We talked a little bit about it coming into the season where it's going to be cold. We're not going to see as many runs, and that's played out. Now we're starting to see some weather getting in the mid-90 range, wind blowing out, and man, that ball gets up in the air and it just flies. But then too, hey, we pay attention to certain pitchers are fly ball pitchers, certain pitchers are ground ball pitchers, certain hitters do well against certain handed pitchers. You know, I mean, it's just stuff like that we look into. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And two, once you get you know, once you get in the routine, you know, there's all kinds of sites that kind of help you, you know, minimize the time you research time. But yeah, it's always fun kind of diving into these baseball slates, especially then, you know, when you're trying to find that little bit of edge.
Yeah, and then some hitters can just hit any damn thing, and that's Aaron Judge right now. But let me ask you this, though. Here we go. Let me ask. We can get back to Aaron Judge because we should. But let me ask you this. I got a little birdie. Little birdie jumped on my shoulder, gave me some information.
And it wasn't me.
I won't review my. Oh, hell no, it wasn't him. I'll be damned if I take or give any advice from this guy. So, with that being said, I'm not going to review my source, but I was told that everybody should bet the house on the over. Tonight, 9:40, Detroit Tigers versus Arizona Diamondbacks. What do you say to that, Scottie G?
You know.
I'll
tell you what. I've been betting the unders in these Tiger games, so you're kind of getting me out of my comfort zone there. We've seen quite a few unders coming across all the way across for the Tigers so far this season. I did, you know, reach on it a little bit there in the overs when Riley Green came up. I thought he kind of rejuvenated the offense. I thought he helped Spencer Torkelson. I kind of like what he brought, but now he's been there a few days. You know, the newness is kind of wore off. But for me, I mean, it's just so hard. I mean, 31 of their last 51 games have gone under, guys. So for me, I mean, I just
do we know what that is tonight?
Do we know what that
what is the total tonight? Let's first
see what we got going on at Tigers and Diamondbacks game.
Yeah, you have that.
It's well, you know what? Let's go to our favorite app over at oddstrader.com.
There we go.
Oddstrader.com. What do you got, Scottie G?
Oddstrader.com. We got. Let's see here. We can check out all the.
Check it out. Check it out for us.
Check it out.
We're not doing anything but chilling.
We got the totals here. We're looking at 8 and 8.5. 8.5 in most spots. You're getting plus money, plus 100. So we're looking at 8.5. Merrill Kelly now, on the other hand, he's a pretty decent pitcher for Arizona here. Just looking at his last start, he did get blown up against Cincinnati. We'll give him a pass on that one. But his free starts, you know, a couple starts beforehand, he hasn't given up too many earned runs. We're looking
so it's looking good.
Well, look, if you look at the Tigers since they brought up Riley Green, it's 5 games.
Okay.
They have scored the total anyway. 8 or more runs in 4 of the 5 games.
Ooh.
So they've got 21, 10, 7, 9, and 8. So they have been scoring in the 5 games since Riley Green has been brought up. If that gives you any indication.
It does. It does give me some indication. It gives me an indication that I'm hesitant. gives me indication that I'm hesitant.
Guys is, hey, they just traveled across the country. They just left Boston. They had to go all the way across to Arizona. So a lot of times, too, I like to lay off situations like that, too. Teams maybe just be a little bit tired going into Arizona. I mean, if they were already on the West Coast and it was a similar situation, I feel a little bit better about it. But that is one thing I'd like to pay attention to when teams are traveling across the country. A lot of times on that first day, they do lag a little bit.
Scottie G, isn't this day 2 though? Yesterday was day 1, correct? So this would be this should be their second game against the Diamondbacks.
No, first game against the Diamondbacks.
This would be the first. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, they traveled.
They had
Okay,
an off day yesterday.
and it's going to be 100. And it's going to be 110.
There you go with the dew point.
Yeah, I mean it's hot all the way around there, right, guy? I mean,
Yeah.
we know we've traveled, and they just got their ass kicked in Boston. So, we'll have to see what happens. But I'd lay caution. I think I would rather roll with the under and just Merrill Kelly's a pretty good pitcher. And 2, we've always talked about betting the first 5 innings in baseball. If you want to just hone in where you feel like you got, you know who the pitchers are going to be generally in the first 5 innings. So that's something I like to do too. If you're betting unders and you feel good about the pitchers, just roll at the first 5 innings. Generally seems to have pretty good results that way.
Hey, Scottie, last one for you. Does the Stanley Cup get hoisted tonight?
I believe it does. I'm going to tell you, man. You watch enough hockey. Hockey Town. We've seen a lot of hockey. And I'll tell you, Colorado is so much quicker on the ice with the puck. It's amazing.
My God, crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember seeing. I can't remember it being that obvious in my life watching hockey.
Yeah, we had.
I mean, it's so obvious, especially that third period and that overtime last game. I mean, Tampa Bay blocked 34 shots last game. I mean, there was quite a bit of shots. So, I mean, you're talking of, add up the shots plus some 34 block shots. I mean, Colorado was buzzing. I do like the over 1.5 goals in the first period. That's at minus 146. I actually like Colorado too, minus a goal and a half to win by a goal and a half. That's at plus money at plus 140. So I don't mind that. But, Tampa and Colorado complained about that ice being real shitty. It was real hot that last game down there in Tampa. So they were talking about
it's a family show.
It's a family show here, Scottie G.
It's a family show, man.
It's a family show.
We got.
Who do you think you're on with, Baydoun?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I would have dropped an F-bomb if that was the case.
This is true. This is very true. This is very true.
I think the ice had a little something to do with it. Maybe they'll get that ice a little bit better. And I feel Colorado's going to be zinging around all night.
Yeah, you're definitely going to get a goal in the first 5 minutes tonight. And then you got 15 minutes to get one more if you're looking for that, over 1.5 in the first period. Scottie G will be watching today, 4:30, Woodward Bets, Woodward Sports Network, and, of course, on the weekends at 9.
Yeah,
Sounds
thanks
like
for
a
having
plan.
us, guys. Hey, we're going to have your guest, Sean, with us at 4:30, talking a little bit more sports. So.
He knows his stuff. I heard. Hey, that bowling outing is coming up. There's another bowling outing coming up. I'm just saying.
You know what Maz did to me real quick? Last Tuesday, it was hot as can be, man.
He made you bowl for
him. I walked in that bowling alley. It felt like somebody had a hairdryer in me. I never bowled in such hot conditions. I'm thinking,
how'd you do?
Old Wiley veteran Maz, he got me. Man, damn.
We'll talk more about the bowling off the air. I got to get a break. Scottie G, we'll be watching First Dimensions from Cintron. Videos of the day next.
The summer of Cintron is here, and now Cintron is available in select Kroger locations. That's right. Go to CintronWorld.com, CintronWorld.com. Find out which locations they are. Go ahead and get yourself some of that energy drink. I'm talking Cintron energy drink, the cranberry, the classic, and then the classic sugar-free. 2 for $4, regularly $300. I wish they would be $300. $3.50 regularly for 1. Proud partners of the Detroit Pistons, proud partners of the Detroit Lions and Tigers. Drink it, live it with Cintron.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Woodward Sports Network. Braylon
What a
looking
show,
good
man.
today. You always look good when you get tightened up a little bit.
I appreciate that, man. You know what I'm saying? Recently went to a barber that was a little closer to my house, man. My man Sean at Sean Salon. Got my beard tight, man. Gave me a nice little razor shave right here. Razor on the back. Feels good. Cool
What's
dude
that?
too,
Oh.
man. Sean Salon. Check out Sean.
Sorry, the boss is calling. I'll tell him never to never
No,
to say that again.
No, he's not.
Never say that
No,
again.
he's not. Sean, appreciate you, buddy. My boy Sean.
Time of the day, we like to play Maz's
videos of the day.
And now it's time for Maz's Videos of the Day. Only on the Woodward Sports Network.
Hi, I'm not Maz.
Oh,
Sorry,
come
guys.
on. Give it energy. Come
Hey,
on.
gang!
Hey, gang.
Okay. What's up, guys? I can't do hey, gang. I can't
Hey,
be
gang.
Maz like that.
Just yell
You
at
know
the
what? We've had talked a lot about Jaden Ivey today, and I think that he's got the energy that I don't have right now. And
It's been a long week, man.
He's excited to be with Detroit, and here's what he had to say to all of the Pistons fans that were following him and just showing him love last night on social media.
Detroit basketball. Man, I'm so excited right now. You know, I can't wait to get to Michigan. You know, I'm gonna give him my all on the court, and you know, I'm looking forward to seeing all you guys.
Well, you want somebody that wants to be here, right?
Something to be
Bar
said.
none. And here he is, and we can't. We can't be happier than that.
Something to be said about a player that wants to be where he gets drafted, man. So, you know,
without question,
gotta love it. When it's genuine too. I mean, you can fake it when you go high. He was like, "Hey, man, I got drafted second overall. I'm happy to be here," and be lying. So
fact.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I got one more for you guys. This one, Maz, titled "Who Threw That?" I'm actually gonna mute it just because there was some unsatisfied people here, and they said some not
used some
nice
language.
things. Yes.
Oh,
that's Walmart.
What is happening?
Who threw that? Who the hell threw that?
Who threw that? What is that?
Oh, I got a who threw that story. That's what we're gonna end on.
Who threw that?
Hey, look, he's trying to find it too. Like, he's like, "Yo, who threw that?
Who did throw that?
Is that a bear moving?" Oh, hey Ryan, look. Oh, it's a bear.
Oh my gosh.
That guy got hit.
Yo.
This guy right here, and he says, I think he knows that the guy's the bear. He goes, "You're lucky I didn't bring my gun today."
Oh my God.
This is a hell of a day to talk about gun laws, isn't it?
Oh my God.
Let's get out of here before we get political.
Who's we?
Defer.
I defer to you on all things.
On all things, though, I understand that. Hell of a day in that world. You know what? We'll stay out of it. We had a good day. We'll stay away
Absolutely.
from that.
Let's get into this. So, Braylon Edwards, it's happening this weekend.
It is. It's going to be some fun.
The baby is coming.
It is,
The
man.
baby is coming.
So happy birthday to my baby sister. She actually turns 32 today. It is her birthday. Guess what else? It's also her soon-to-be fiance's birthday too. And guess what? The baby is due tomorrow. But I think the baby might come tonight. That's what you call it?
Oh, man. I'm calling my shot.
Are you calling your shot?
I said today, so I haven't until 11 a.m.
So
11:59.
Happy birthday to my future brother-in-law Cam. Happy birthday to my baby sister Miranda J. Plater, and happy birthday, I think, tonight to my soon-to-be niece Rain. Love you guys. And that's all from the bottom line. Sam, Fletch, hell of a week. It's been hot outside, but you guys have been amazing. Ryan, Ermanni, I know you've been talking your butt off, and I appreciate you as always, my brother.
Last thing I want to say.
Get it out.
Thanks to everybody who watched us today
New
on
subscribers,
YouTube.
thank you.
Incredibly good numbers today. If you have not already, hit that like button. Let's get to over 300. Let's get to over 300 likes today. Hit that like button. Smash that like button. Tell a friend about Woodward Sports Network. We coming. Do I just go? I'm not going to drop. Go. All right. Go ahead. 2, 1. Oh, my God. Go. Oh, jeez. Oh, my. Oh. This isn't right. I don't get paid enough for this.